main takeaways from the exhibition?
Well, I think we saw a great team on Friday, and that was good. Guys, I think we wrestled fine, right? I mean, we want to continue to improve as we move along here, but it was fine. You know, it was a fine road trip, and we're looking forward to getting back on the mat on Friday again. I thought Nick did great. I mean, he's just consistent, right? That's what he does, and yeah, it's he just brings he brings a lot of energy with him and enthusiasm, which is great for the team, obviously.
Any changes at 25 in the offense?
Probably not. I mean, we're working on that, and you got to just things take time, and treating your guys right. You got to you have a team, so it needs to be done correctly, and if Kuhn ends up being our starter, he's got to earn that spot, obviously, and Schnupp's getting better and better. He just got to finish his shots, but we like the progress that he's making.
It's a lot of red tape to get certified.
Yeah, well, it's just a little more difficult, and pretty much have to be on weight and pass a hydration test, which is pretty hard. I mean, I'd probably fail the hydration test right now. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's really hard to pass. So it just takes time.
How did he get there?
I think he drove. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why did he decide to transfer?
His coach reached out to us last fall, late summer, and his coach thinks a lot of him, and obviously he wasn't going to have an opportunity to wrestle, and it's been a work in progress for Carson ever since, just because if you're a fifth-year kid, transferring, especially into Penn State, is pretty much next to impossible, because he's pretty much a dean's list kid and had a ton of credits, but you still can't transfer undergrad, so he had to graduate, and Boise had to help him out, and he was having a hard time, with getting the assistants there, and it really came together literally like 2 days before he showed up. So.
What made Michigan such a hard team to try to overcome?
They just have great wrestlers. I mean, they're very good all the way up and down their lineup, right? I mean, they're all ranked high, and they're all tight. I mean, a lot of them are title contenders. They're all American contenders, and I mean, I thought they wrestled well, and our guys. They did a nice job. They were in some tough matches, and they found ways to win those matches. And some of our guys don't get tested that often, so we're grateful for that.
Was it good to see them now? Figuring that you'll see them later on down the line?
Yeah, well, Michigan obviously in our conference, so we're going to see them at the conference meet and the nationals. So Big Ten in wrestling is always very tough, and this year's no exception to that. So. But yeah, just seeing great competitions, I think it's good. It gives you a pretty good idea of what you need to work on, and so you want to wrestle well, but it's about learning and getting better moving forward.
Cael, and I'm sorry, it's a little hard to hear here a little bit, but when did you say we could maybe expect to see Carson?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he's got some things he's got to get through, and then he's got to make the team. He's got to be ready to wrestle, right? So it could be Friday, it could be February. I mean, we're trying to rush things along as quickly as possible.
And is there something you saw in him that you wanted him to be part of the team, or was it just kind of the word of the coach that?
Well, I've known Carson since not personally, but I know he's from Utah, so I've known of him, and I followed him as a high school wrestler. He was a big recruit coming out of high school, and he knows how to wrestle, right? He has wins at the senior level, but he's been injured most of his career, so. I think it's we'll find out how what he's got, right? I mean, he could I'm not going to say anything, or I don't know. But I think he's got a pretty good feel for the sport. He has a lot of experience. He just hasn't wrestled a lot in the last couple of years, but it took a lot for him to get here. So that's a good sign that he really wants it, right? I mean, he's just a kid who wrestled his whole life, and unfortunately, Boise State, their president decided to drop their program, and and you know, a guy like him who's a fifth-year senior is just kind of out of luck. So you know, he's worked really hard to get here to this point. So you know, hopefully, you know, he plans on making the most of it, which obviously he does.
Now, if Carson were to get the start, how many matches would he need to qualify for NCAAs?
Well, at this point, it's going to be hard, you know, to earn an automatic spot. So he's going to probably have to beat somebody at the conference meet and take their spot. I mean, that's most likely the scenario. And at 25, if you look at our schedule, then between now and the Big Ten, he's wrestling a lot of the top guys, right? So so we'll see where we're at. That's the good thing.
What are you expecting this weekend from Purdue and Maryland?
Well, we'll focus on Purdue now, and you know, Purdue's just tough kids. They wrestle hard. You know, I think the last time they were here, you know, it's like every match was a dog fight in a way. They were ready to go and motivated, and so we've got to be ready to compete because they compete hard, and you know, really like that about them. Respect that.
Cael, local kid AJ Schaaf is coming back this week. He's now a part of Purdue's assistant coaching
Oh, yeah,
staff. Yeah, and I was wondering I don't know if you remember him from 2015 when he wrestled for Edinburgh, or
I do remember.
Yeah. Or if you had any
Yeah.
thoughts on him, or just in general, kids who have successful All-American collegiate careers and then go on to pursue coaching careers.
Yeah, AJ's an excellent wrestler. You know, he obviously, if you followed his career, he was great. You know, I think he beat us probably just about every time they wrestled us. You know, I don't. But he's fun to watch. You know, he's a pin guy, tough on top, and everything I've heard of him, just a fantastic kid. So I'm sure he's doing. I know he was at South Dakota State, I believe, and you know, they've had a lot of success there, and now at Purdue, I'm sure he's a great asset to the program. Yeah.
Now, we saw at 197 both Rashid and Kassar last week, and you said eventually you are going to have to figure out who your guy is there. Are you any closer to making that decision?
I wouldn't say so. No, I think, you know, again, it's about getting ready for the matches this week, and yeah, at some point we're going to have to make a decision there. But you know, we're fortunate to be in here with them every day, and you know, they both have a lot of potential. So we have some great options, obviously.
I think they'll show time again.
I'm sorry.
I think they'll show time again this week.
Potentially, right? You know, that's something that we have to discuss as a staff, and you think it's priority number one, but you know, getting ready for Purdue is priority number one right now. So they're both have a lot of potential, and it's not something we just are going to force, you know, and just, you know, because if you have a wrestle off or something along those lines, you know, they need to be close to weight to get a realistic look, and you know, when that time is going to be that we can do that, if that ends up being what happens. And but yeah, we're looking for somebody to step up. You know, Rashid's obviously, you know, I think he had a tougher opponent and almost got bonus points, but you know, Kassar's got a lot of potential too. So we'll see.